Hello there friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. When the prequels came out, I wonder how fans initially reacted to the character of Sheev Palpatine. I was pretty young when The Phantom Menace came out, so I don't really remember what my reaction was to seeing his character. But I imagine for a lot of the older fans, especially those who had read all of the expanded universe novels with Emperor Palpatine, they would have probably immediately recognized that the young senator from Naboo, who was whispering sweet poison into the ears of Queen Amidala, was none other than the evil emperor, on his way to subverting democracy and taking over everything.
Into the bureaucrats, the true rulers of the Republic, and on the payroll of the Trade Federation, I might add. This is where Chancellor Valorum's strength will disappear.
Now, George Lucas always intended to let the audience know that Palpatine was a Sith Lord. It was never a huge secret. But Ian McDiarmid's over-the-top performance as Palpatine, dripping with sweet malice and sarcasm, is what really made this character shine. Most people by the Attack of the Clones knew that Palpatine was a Sith Lord. And so we all watched gleefully as he rubbed that into the faces of the Jedi, the Republic, and basically everyone else in the galaxy. It's nice to be in on a secret like this. It makes you feel smart and special. And this is why Palpatine, despite being a completely evil psychopath, is also one of the most enjoyable characters to watch in all of Star Wars, and has perhaps one of the most memorable performances in the prequel era. Whether he's giving terrible advice to Anakin.
You don't need guidance, Anakin. In time, you will learn to trust your feelings.
No, Anakin, no! No!
Or he's conning people into thinking that he actually cares about them.
The thought of losing you is unbearable.
Or he's just conning the entire galaxy to give up their freedom.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
Palpatine also happens to be one of my favorite types of Sith Lords. You see, some Sith Lords, they're warriors. Other Sith Lords are tacticians or generals. Then you have other Sith Lords who are scientists or philosophers. Well, Palpatine was something quite rare in the larger Sith organization, and he was what was known as a Sith puppeteer. Sith puppeteers are extremely difficult to destroy because rule number one for them is to not let anyone know that you're actually pulling the strings. We did a video a while back talking about why Darth Sidious thought the Jedi were kind of foolish to use lightsabers. What I didn't talk about was the fact that he also thought Sith Lords who were too reliant on their Force powers were silly as well. See, Palpatine operates on a completely different level. When he wants to destroy someone, a well-executed plan usually means that no one even detects his presence until it's too late. Ideally, if anyone is going to do the poisoning or swinging of the lightsaber, it's not going to be him. Sith puppeteers do not like getting their robes dirty. They do not like being revealed. The puppeteer is a rare Sith archetype simply because it requires a good deal of patience and planning to become one. You also have to be an extremely intelligent individual, and usually intelligent people avoid extreme paths in life. Especially the Sith way, because it can only really lead to madness, decay, and suffering. Your stereotypical Sith is passionate, fully fueled by their strongest emotions and bent on feeding off of the pain and suffering of others. Sith generally love combat, they love killing people, they love being in the center of the maelstrom of chaos they created while swinging their lightsabers at every living thing that moves. And so puppeteers are extremely rare, and honestly Palpatine was probably not born a puppeteer personality type. I mean, he was a pretty volatile youth. It was only when Darth Plagueis entered the scene, the true puppeteer in the Sith Order, that Palpatine learned to control himself and be in more control of his actions so that he could control others. Now, after watching the first two episodes of The Acolyte, I believe I've detected another puppeteer. Now, we know that May is working for some kind of dark side master, but it's clear that she has no idea who that master is, which means most likely she's not a Sith apprentice. Most Sith apprentices at least know who their masters are and have a more, intimate relationship with them.
I see your master has taken great pains to hide his identity. Even from you. You couldn't tell me who he is even if you wanted to.
It's very clear whoever May's master is, he knows about her past and what happened to her on Brendok all those years ago when she was just a child. In my last video, I theorized that the Jedi were trying to stop some Sith conspiracy or, some kind of plan, and as a result, they set that big fire that basically destroys Osha and May's life on Brendok. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it's clear that the Master is using May's survival of those terrible events as a way to bring the Jedi down. If it became known that the Jedi committed some terrible atrocity on Brendok, it would challenge their position as the unchallenged guardians of peace and stability in the galaxy. But as a lot of the critics have been saying, there's something about this show that feels off. May doesn't seem talented enough in the Force or in her combat abilities to be much more than a dark side acolyte, which, in all fairness, that's what she is. That's the name of the show. The Master also seems to have very little connection to May during this operation, which seems kind of strange. Surely you'd want to assign someone to watch over your acolyte while, she's trying to do all this stuff. Someone like Qimir, May's fixer. At first glance, Qimir seems unremarkable, just another ruffian that one can find at any spaceport in the galaxy. A quick-tongued rogue who, in another life, might have found a honorable profession or maybe even started a family if he wasn't so, indulgent in spice and wine and women. And when confronted by the authorities about his connection to May, here was his answer.
What is your relationship to May?
I'm just her supplier. Yeah, I started out gun running for the Hutts. Now I supply people like her with what they need for the right price.
Well, maybe you could supply us with the truth.
Yord is such an idiot. I love the guy. But yeah, Qimir is basically in the same line of work as Han Solo. He ran spice for the Hutts and lost it all, which is why, Boba Fett was after him in the original trilogy. Generally speaking, characters like Han Solo are against the powers or institutions that run the galaxy. Han Solo is against regulation and any kind of attempt to control individual behavior. During the original trilogy, that made him heroic because he was striking out against the authoritarian empire. But during the Golden Age of the Republic, now we have someone like Qimir, who is fighting against the largest peacekeeping institution in the galaxy, the Jedi Order. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but individuals like Han Solo, like Qimir, they rarely like joining causes.
So, you got your reward and you're just leaving then?
That's right, yeah. General, I gotta leave. I can't stay anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that.
These type of characters rarely stick their necks out for other people because, they're generally street kids who have gone through some pretty terrible ordeals, before becoming adults or surviving to adulthood. Forgive Han Solo for not wanting to join the rebellion immediately like trust fund baby Princess Leia or that idealistic farm boy Luke. While both of them were living in comfortable, well, I don't know if Tatooine is comfortable, but both of them were living in a stable family with loving adoptive families. Han Solo was fighting for food scraps in the sewers of Cornet City while working in an orphan gang run by a bunch of blind alien worms. And so, yeah, the fact that Qimir is being so ideological, despite probably sharing a very similar background to Han Solo, makes me very suspicious of him. This is usually not what street urchins do. So that means that the Jedi have truly lost their way and have drawn the ire of regular citizens of the galaxy like Qimir, or that there's something more to Chimir's character than we first realized. But what really made me suspicious of Qimir is just how engaged he is in May's operation as a simple fixer. Fixers usually don't act like that. Fixers for assassins or criminals don't want to know anything about what their client is doing. I mean, when John Wick gets equipped before his missions, he uses a network of very professional fixers.
It's been a long time. I'd like a tasting.
Tell me, Mr. Wick, is this a formal event or a social affair?
Social. I need something robust, precise.
And is this for day or evening?
I need one for day and one for night. Would you recommend anything for the end of the night? Something big, bold.
How about the lining?
Tactical.
No one talks business here. No one asks John Wick who his next target is or whether he was successful with his last hit. I mean, all they talk about are what specifically they are supposed to talk about. I mean, the closest we'll see to any type of personal comment is this.
Mr. Wick, do enjoy your party.
And so it's kind of strange that when May returns after her first unsuccessful attempt to end Master Torben's life, this is how Qimir reacts.
So did you kill the guy?
And May, instead of being insulted or worried her fixer is asking this, dives right into what happened.
I was this close and I couldn't land a single blow.
It's almost as if she's used to confiding in her fixer. The more he knows, the bigger a threat he is, and that's exactly what happens.
She'll be back here tonight. I'm holding some things for her.
May's clearly not a very experienced assassin. I mean, she does a lot of cringy things, like, she always announces her presence before she tries to assassinate a Jedi. She even goads them into attacking her.
We have unfinished business. with all your strength.
I don't really understand why she does this now. Maybe it will be revealed later on. I mean, even the aliens sitting with Indara laugh at her when she does this in her first assassination scene. It could be that May has some type of belief system herself, which doesn't allow her to strike first. Maybe she wants to make the Jedi seem like aggressors and attackers. Either way, she definitely is not a very intelligent assassin. And she seems completely out of her league when fighting both Master Indara and Master Torben. And in the second Jedi's case, it's really Qimir who comes up with the idea on how to breach Master Torben's defenses.
Find his weakness.
He doesn't have one.
Everyone has a weakness.
He's impenetrable.
Qimir dangles that first clue in front of May immediately, but she doesn't bite. She instead has Qimir make her a poison out of Bunta, a planet from her homeworld that Qimir quickly identifies.
Bunta? Really?
He's disapproving because he knows about May's order to kill the Jedi without a weapon, which again shows us that May is telling this fixer everything, which is just not normal. But then Qimir returns to his previous advice, his previous thread about weakness.
I do really believe that, though. Everyone has a weakness. The Jedi justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace. And peace
is a lie, I know.
Once again, we see that Qimir has a pretty well-developed worldview about the Jedi Order, and what's even more worrying is the fact that he basically quotes the first line of the Sith Code, which goes, "Peace is a lie. There is only passion." May seems to understand this as well. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Surely this is just a coincidence, but it's not the only coincidence, and then it kind of starts stacking up, which shows me that there's something else going on here.
Torben is not the serene and, as you say, impenetrable meditator. Like every Jedi, he only thinks he's found peace. What he really needs is something only you can give him.
As a fixer, it is Qimir's job to know these type of things, but to understand the intimate thoughts of a Jedi Master who's taking the Bearer's vow while hidden in a Jedi temple, well, that's at another level. I mean, the Bearer's vow basically means that Torben doesn't talk to anyone, not even the Jedi deployed on the same world as him who are guarding him. More importantly, the fact that Qimir knows that May can give Torben absolution for his past actions means that Qimir knows a lot more about what happened on Brendok than a normal fixer should. Which makes me wonder just how much is Qimir involved in this operation? It's clear that without his advice, May would have never been able to kill Master Torben. It also makes me think about May's assassination of Master Indara. Here was another Jedi Master who was clearly out of May's league. Why would May attack the Jedi in broad daylight in a crowded cantina? It makes no sense. Based on how she infiltrates the second Jedi and Knights, May seems to understand the importance of self and darkness. And so why throw that all away and confront Indara in such a chaotic setting? Well, maybe Qimir also had another lesson for her. Like using Master Indara's need to save innocent lives against her. That's how Vader defeated the extremely powerful Jedi Master Kirak Infila. It's a classic Sith move that's always been used historically against the Jedi, a tactic that a well-trained Sith would be versed in. And now Qimir has found the location of the third Wookiee Jedi. Maybe he'll have another piece of extremely useful and convenient advice to guide this relatively unskilled assassin to success once again. I mean, May is so unskilled as an assassin that when she tries to ambush Qimir and stab him, he actually manages to stop her. That or Qimir is force sensitive and has some combat training, or is a hidden Sith himself. I honestly think that Qimir's entire personality is just a front. You know, him being drunk and unserious all the time is designed to make him seem like less of a threat. Just like how Palpatine hid his political views as a young senator from Naboo, and how he focused more on developing relationships with individual members in the Senate. No one had any idea how power-hungry he was until it was too late. Now, it's clear to me, behind those glassy eyes, Qimir is an intelligent individual with keen observation skills. I don't know what he did with the last guy running that potion shop, but I wouldn't be surprised if he murdered him. The closer I look at Manny Jacinto's excellent performance here, the more I see the dark presence beneath the thin surface layer. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see if this theory is actually true. It is kind of exciting if it does become something. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button down below so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. As usual, my name is Alan, reminding you that my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. See you next time.